Well, it almost feels like the occupied West Bank is on lockdown. If you go on the road anywhere connecting Palestinian cities, you will hardly find Palestinian cars driving. And that's because Israeli settlers are attacking Palestinian license plate cars anywhere they find them. Israeli movement restrictions are also increasing. Many of the military checkpoints have been shut down, and only those who really need to move from one place to another are braving those conditions. In the meantime, Israeli settlers continue to attack communities across the occupied West Bank, setting up 4 new illegal settlement outposts, including one close to Til, where those 4 Palestinians and 2 Israeli soldiers were killed, and that's after, of course, settlers razed the olive groves in Til itself. So those attacks continuing. We continue to monitor reports of stepped-up attacks, of taking over of Palestinian homes in at least 2 communities in the center area of the West Bank.
It sounds, Noor, like communities there are bracing for impact, and we know that Benjamin Netanyahu's promised to go in hard in response to all of this. How is this moment playing out in Israel?
Well, in Israel, there's a contrast between the statements from government officials who are vowing collective punishment steps, as human rights organizations have described them, who will be demolishing the home of the man accused of firing at the 2 soldiers, and of carrying out more raids, intensified raids, especially in the Nablus area. But we're hearing also from former officials, someone like Bogi Ya'alon, who was a minister of defense, saying that the West Bank faces a Jewish terrorism problem, one that is endorsed by the government. There's a wider context here, which is upcoming Israeli elections. A minister like Bezalel Smotrich is endorsing the Israeli settlements, these settlers, the settler groups who are setting up these outposts because they've helped his numbers, and this we see repeated and again and again and again. More on that dynamic in this report. This is Bezalel Smotrich, an Israeli settler who lives illegally in the occupied West Bank and a self-described fascist. He's also one of the most prominent political leaders of religious Zionism, a mix of Orthodox Judaism and Israeli ultra-nationalism. Sanctioned by several Western governments, he is an ally of Benjamin Netanyahu and popular among many young Jewish voters in Israel.
The goals of the next term: eliminating the idea of the Arab terrorist state, cancelling the cursed Oslo Accords, and advancing on the path of sovereignty, while encouraging immigration in Gaza and also in Judea and Samaria. In the long term, there is no other solution.
Yet polls suggest his religious Zionism party could fail to secure the required numbers of votes to join the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, in the upcoming elections. Smotrich is banking on his achievements as the minister in charge of the settlement department within the defense ministry to secure victory. Behind me is the illegal settlement of Beit Il near Ramallah. Now, this is where settlers under Smotrich's command decide on the expansion of illegal settlements, the confiscation of Palestinian land, and the demolition of Palestinian homes. The outcome has been unprecedented. 104 new illegal settlements and 185 illegal settlement outposts have been constructed, as well as 1,000 square kilometers of roads specifically to serve settlers, while demolishing more than 5,400 Palestinian homes and displacing at least 119 Palestinian communities. Smotrich has increased campaigning in recent weeks, announcing plans for 3 illegal settlements in the Gaza Strip and taking part in a march by a settler movement towards Gaza. Competition for the right-wing voter base is fierce ahead of the election. To ensure no votes are lost, Netanyahu is considering forming a joint list with the far-right party, which would secure Smotrich's continued influence over Israeli politics.
Violence has surged in the occupied West Bank since October the 7th, 2023. Since then, nearly 1,200 Palestinians have been killed. Out of those who have died, 250 are children, while more than 12,600 Palestinians have been injured. And since the start of this year, nearly 90 Palestinians have been killed, including 21 by Israeli settlers. Salsan Zaher is a Palestinian human rights lawyer. She says the violence towards Palestinians in the occupied West Bank has been escalating.
I think that I would call this evil by its name. It's not settler violence. It is Israeli terrorizing Palestinians in the West Bank, using settlers who are operating based on ideological, religious, political vision to basically ethnically cleanse and forcibly evacuate the Palestinians. And they are backed up by the army and backed up by the government. Let's not forget that this current government has its principles, written principles, signed by all the leading coalition parties, which basically says to expand, that the political vision is to expand the borders of Israel. Expanding the borders means more colonizations, means more occupation, means more de facto normal annexation, which in the result would result in forcibly evicting, terrorizing Palestinians who are living in the occupied Palestinian territory.